What are you making this morning? She's making soup in her house. So we will be hanging out together right here on my porch while she's making soup and the dogs are running around like crazy, and a third dog that I'm babysitting is also here. So big day at the Gegg household. If you're watching this, you'll notice that I'm just as sweaty. Like, that's just what it's like in Texas right now. It is humid and it's hot, and it's like, I think it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Is that insane, or is that insane? But I'm glad you're here. If you haven't caught these coaching series, no worries. You don't need to watch them in order. My name is Gretchen, and I'm a coach. I'm a health and fitness instructor. I'm a mama mentor. I do a lot of just coaching in my life, and I'm excited to bring you this series for free because it's made a lot of difference in a lot of people's lives. So let's talk the second reason that you are stuck. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the first reason. Today, the second reason that you are stuck is that you are following someone else's methods. Now, in the world of health, we typically say like you're following someone else's diet, but that might not be what you're working on. That might not be where you're stuck. If it is, you want to consider like, why are you doing, if it is the diet, kind of consider, why are you doing that diet? Is it because you had found a like chart on Pinterest and you heard somebody that lost weight on it? Or are you really trying it and listening to your body and seeing like, how's it affecting your digestion, your mood, your relationships? Because trust me, all of that, if you didn't listen to episode 1, go back and listen to it, because you always want to understand how whatever you're doing is affecting those 8 components of wellness that we have to strive to fill every day. Remember, I'm going to give you a technique later on in these coachings that's going to help you do that with ease. But for now, that's kind of what we want to focus on with this is, if we are following someone else's methods, are we doing it because it is satisfying us along those 8 components of wellness? Are we doing it because it's what we think we should be doing or what we've been told we should be doing? And also, I coach a lot of people in faith-based trainings. I'm a mentor. If you haven't heard of Mom Mastery University before, you can just go to mommastery.com and look up more about it. But it's all, it's coaching that's all faith-based. And so a lot of times I tell people, first and foremost, let's satisfy that spiritual wellness component by meditating and praying over it and deciding if it's really where we're being led to make a change, or if we're jumping into it because we just think that we need to make that change. And that can look different for different people. I know meditation can be a hard thing and a scary thing. And for some people, hate to out you, but especially Christians tend to think it's too weird and new agey for them. And that could be a whole nother conversation for another day, but it's definitely not. And it's definitely should be a part of our practice. But maybe prayerfully considering is a better way to put it. For some people, they'll be able to digest it a little bit better than meditation. That might scare people away at first. And knowing that nothing is wrong with having a template, right? Nothing is wrong with having a template and trying out different things. And I know having these methods, having this, guys, another thing that I've been doing and that I'm part of and that you can even jump into on June 3rd is the Mom Fog Challenge. Like, have you ever heard of Mom Brain? Right? So it's kind of countering that. And there's plenty of templates in there, plenty of things to decide if you're doing it right or wrong. And one of the biggest templates, and this makes a really good example for what we're talking about today, is a recipe for, it's called the Fog Clearing Smoothie. So it's a smoothie that our coach, hold on one second. Come here, baby. Okay. Well, it's a smoothie that our coach recommends. And it's really funny because so many people are like, well, I have an allergy to this. Is it still going to work for me? And inevitably, our coach, Hannah, pipes up and is like, yeah, like, just, try this and try that and decide what works for you. It's just a template. In fact, one of the things that she always says, and again, I'm still talking about my coach, Hannah, she always says sloppy success beats perfect failure. Like, have a template, try it, figure it out. It's not going to be perfection from day one, but know why you're following this. Let's talk about because I know that there's people in here who are stuck for a variety of reasons. I don't just want to stay on the health topic, but finances can be another place where people get stuck. They find a method, and this can be a fluctuation depending on where you are in your life, right? Because people find this method that works for them in their youth. A good example is starting out on the Dave Ramsey method, which is all about being debt-free and budgeting your money based on like an envelope system. And I'll be honest, I don't know everything about it, so I'm not going to go down the path. I'm just going to talk about it for a minute. But it works really well in people's youth, or if they're in a lot of debt, trying to help them refocus spending. But as people get older, or maybe start a business, or are having to look at these different things that they're having to invest in, debt becomes different. And then, maybe finding a new method that's going to teach you how to have, I don't want to say like good debt versus bad debt, but how to have debt that you're able to pay off, and that's going to actually end up making you more money in the long run because of what you're investing in order to like start a business. That's just a really good example, is starting a business. And even more on a very simple level, like looking at budget templates and then deciding what fits your life, not feeling like you have to spend in the same percentages of someone else. So templates are good, but we don't want to follow someone else's methods. Every single time we jump into something, we want to ask ourselves why. And if we have a good why, then do it for a little bit and spend some time in self-reflection. So constantly going back to those 8 components of wellness and saying, how is this feeding me? How is this fueling me? And in fact, if anyone's watching this live or even catching it later, I have a wellness pie is what I call it, a wellness pie assessment that I've done a lot, that it's available for personal use, not like, you're not going to like photocopy and hand it to friends, but if you want that, if you want to assess your wellness, I want you to email me at Gretchen, Gretchen, very German name, just, if you don't know how to spell it, you probably Google it and find the right spelling, Gretchen at GretchenGegg, GEGG.com. Just think German. Gretchen at GretchenGegg.com. And tell me that you want the wellness pie assessment, and I can send it to you. And then at any time in your life, you can kind of stop and take an assessment, look at the areas that need help. Okay, so that's really kind of all I wanted to go over today, was knowing that one of the reasons you might be stuck is that you're following someone else's methods instead of using it as a template and then deciding what works in your life. So your self-assessment of today, or a little like homework, if you want to look at it that way, is to find something in your life that you're doing that you got from someone else, and then reassess it and decide these, and ask yourself these 2 questions. Does it allow you to be you, right? Do you feel like you are operating in a way that is true to who you are and what you believe in? Because remember, we're not just talking health and fitness, and we're actually not just talking finances. I just don't have time to go into everything, but is it allowing you to be you? And is it allowing you to be flexible and to make changes if you need it? Because that is huge. One of we just had a major mud pie fallout. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that's currently like a giant pile of mud soup on my porch. That's fun. If you're watching this, I'll give you a little glimpse. Mud soup. I don't know if you can see that, but it's mud soup. Fun. Okay, well, I'm about to have to go clean that up. But I want you to think about, is it allowing you to be you? And is it allowing you to be flexible? Maybe not like bending, stretching, but being flexible in the sense that you are able to make changes to it at any time. And it's not so rigid that it's keeping you from being happy, being healthy, and being stuck. All right, so I'm glad you joined me. Make sure you come back tomorrow and check out the 4th episode, or wherever you're finding this, you'll see the 4th episode when we get to the 3rd reason.